Hi guys, thank you for tuning in. I've decided to do my readings a bit differently. Instead of doing it for the following month, I'm actually going to do it for the present month to see where you are. Just because I found that readings are more accurate to where you are in the moment as opposed to where you will be, simply because that energy you receive is much stronger for the present moment than for the future. And I apologize for the setup. I have my phone delicately balanced on my guitar, so yeah, a lot of changes recently. So this is a current reading, I guess, for Scorpio. I guess insights, advice. Nope. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups. Just popped out. You're feeling ambitious. You're feeling full of ideas. Nope. Don't need to do anything. Wheel of Fortune. So this is a period of... Okay, I'm just gonna... Let me see all the cards that lay out, and then this one wants to come out. The Tower. Nope. No, I don't even need to shuffle. This is happening for me. Nine of Cups. Knight of Wands. Or Staves. I like Staves. One more, I guess. I do 6-card readings now, so for Scorpio, for where you're at or advice. Oh, there we go. All right. And we have the World. So 3 major arcanas. This is interesting. It looks like, I know you can't see the cards, so I'll show them to the camera. It looks like, Scorpio, right now you're at a place where there are some shifts happening in your perspective, some shifts in how you're looking at things, how you're seeing people, how you're seeing situations. And though it may seem negative, these changes are actually good. There may be some things that you are discovering that you may not like to hear. People turning out to be a little different than how you initially thought they were. And it may seem catastrophic at times, but it's not, because you are getting a clear image. It looks like it's all starting because you're going through a phase or a new cycle. I often refer to this in my readings. And there's always a cycle. As with anything, there's a cycle of love, there's a cycle of your mental patterns, there's a cycle of your routine. Everything is in cycles. The circle of life, you know, it's very symbolic, this Wheel of Fortune. So right now it seems like you're in a place where, how should I explain it? You've experienced what you need to experience, and you're coming to, let's say your cycle starts at the top. You have the experience, then you come to the top of the cycle, something else shifts and changes, and then you experience that, and then like a new chapter, and then you experience that. So it's like the wheel is turning, and now it has led you to feel ambitious. It has led you to feel ready to take on more. And it may seem negative because you're discovering things that are shattering some illusions or perspectives that you might have about, again, it could be anything, your family dynamic, your children, your relationships, your job, or how you feel about your job, or how you feel about certain people. It's changing, and you might not like that, but realize that it's part of that cycle. It's helping you shift gears into that new cycle of experience that you're going to have, that will lead you subsequently to the next cycle. And interestingly, the Tower is above the World card, which, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Everything comes together, and, you know, you have all the... I'm not an expert in astrology or zodiacs or astronomy, things like that, but all four... I mean, you have earth, air, earth, fire, and water, right? So it's all here. It's all full cycle. It's all encompassing. And the Tower card is above this one, right? So again, the cycle, right? This is how I'm seeing it. So there are shifts and changes, and it might seem negative, but it's all part of this all-encompassing bigger picture that encompasses all the zodiac signs, encompasses all the elements of the earth, air, water, fire, earth, right? So that's part of the bigger picture, even though it might not feel good. And of course, you can always refrain to your own experience. Something happened that just was hell to go through, or you didn't enjoy, or that seemed very negative at the time. But at the end of the day, you're kind of happy you learned that lesson, or you're happy that the true colors of a situation came out because you're better for it. Now, after that, again, leading up to this world, I have the Nine of Cups, which you can kind of deduce for yourself if you look at the picture. She's enjoying herself. She has one cup, in her hand. She has a couple empty ones. There's some behind her. So it's like a never-ending resource of joy, gratefulness, of drink, right? So be reminded that though it may seem like there are negative changes, though it may seem that bad things are happening, it's if your tower of perception of how you see someone, the illusion, and by illusion I don't mean a false viewing of something, but I mean just the grand picture of something. It's becoming pixelated and some pixels are falling off. Let's just put it that way. You get to rebuild that image with more sharper pixels. You get to rebuild any damage to the tower and upgrade it. You know what I'm saying? And you have all the resources. Not to bring too heavy of a subject into the reading, but mental illness, for example, people always say people with certain mental illness are lacking this or are lacking that. Apologies for my language, but that's complete bullshit. We are born with the whole spectrum of emotions. It doesn't matter if, for example, you're bipolar and you're either manic or depressive. You have all the emotions you need to work with. Let's say you're depressed. It doesn't mean you're incapable of being happy. You just tend to have more depressive symptoms, or you're in depression more often, but your mind is still capable of experiencing happiness. So why do I bring this up? You have unlimited resources. There are changes coming about. Your perception is changing. Or truths may be coming out that may be negative and kind of shattering something you've built. But you have endless resources to rebuild it how you want. You have endless resources to create the life that you want. And you can bask in them. You've used some, you have more behind you. And rest in that knowledge. Let that create a stable environment inside. You will always have the resources. You will find them, you will make them, but there's endless resources. And right after that, I have the Knight of Staves. Fearlessness, right? Go forth. You have endless resources, use them. Go forth, be fearless, ride that horse. Take whatever resources you have and do whatever you need to do to A, keep going, B, rebuild that tower, or even just make upgrades, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess upgrades, yeah. Be fearless about it and go forth fiercely. And another thing that was brought to my attention just now, there's a volcano in the back there. Let the camera focus. There's a volcano there. Realize that whether or not this horse is galloping forward or not, that volcano is still going to erupt. Whether you worry or not, whatever will happen will happen. People often in relationships, feel insecure, feel their partner might be unfaithful or not love them the same way, or their feelings have changed. If that's going to happen, that's going to happen regardless of the fact that you will be insecure or you will worry about it. If you've written an exam, there's no point in worrying, the 2 weeks after the exam until you get the grade, because the exam is written. Your worry or your non-worry will not influence the result. So if a volcano is going to erupt, it's going to erupt anyways. Just get on that horse, gallop forward, use the resources, and do what you got to do, because if you don't, that volcano is still going to erupt. There will still be changes. The truth will still come out. Do you know what I'm saying? And for some reason, it keeps popping into my head. Let's say you've met someone, a friend, a relationship, doesn't matter. You thought they were one way, and the more you get to know them, they're not really like that. Don't be disappointed in that. It's good that the true colors are coming out, and whether or not you deny it or not, it's still going to come out. That tower is still going to be it's still going to change. The tower is still going to change. And again, bigger picture. It's all part of the bigger picture. It's all part of the cycle of life, the cycle of your patterns, the cycle of learning. It's all encompassing. Don't feel isolated in your journeys either. It may be very different than the journeys of the people around you, but we're all on our own journey. You're not the only one who's felt depressed. You're not the only one who's been betrayed. You're not the only one who's self-sabotaged or put yourself in situations you don't want to be in. You're not the only one who is having changes of things you don't want to change happen, right? Again, first card, Wheel of Fortune. So it's a cycle. Whenever the wind blows, the wheel thing is still gonna the windmill is still gonna spin regardless. The volcano is still gonna erupt regardless. So use your endless resources to do what you have to do to get to where you want to get, which can be career, it can be relationship, it can be anything. So that's what I have for Scorpio, I guess end of September. I hope that was helpful, and leave your comments below. Thanks for tuning in.